What's up, y'all? I am back for another video. Today we are reviewing The Fall Guy. I watched it last night, but kind of doing stuff all day today, so I couldn't do it today. So today we are reviewing The Fall Guy, which I really enjoyed. I didn't, and I just found out, or not just, but I found out earlier or yesterday that it was actually apparently a TV series, and because I saw that there was a little bit of a divide, because I guess people who saw the series versus who saw, because for me, I thought this was just some original movie. No, it's a TV series. And I don't know anything about the TV series, but as a movie, I thought this was really good. This was one of my favorite films of the year. Third favorite so far. I really enjoyed Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I think they made this movie. This is probably gonna be the title of the video. It's a very much a love letter to action. Like, I would say kind of 80s specifically, but like I would say action films in general, and stunt work. Like, because the director who made, it was a stunt man, and you could tell because just the amount of stunt work and just, I would almost say a love letter to filmmaking too, just because. Because Emily Blunt basically is a director. She starts off as like a camera woman, but that eventually becomes a director later. Cole Severs, he's a Hollywood stunt performer, gets in a bad accident which injures his back, which ends up causing a rift with his girlfriend Jody, and they end up breaking up. Like I think 2 years later, almost 2 years later, he gets called back because Gail manipulates him by saying, Jody is directing the movie and she wants you to come back, and she asked him. So eventually it's about bringing them together. So it's a bit of a romance movie, but it's done in a way where it's not cheesy. You actually want Jody and Colt to get back together, and it's done well. They have great chemistry. Like, they feel like an actual couple. Like, you feel like, you can buy them as an actual couple. They don't just feel like, oh, you're just a couple because the fucking plot says so. And I like some of the side characters. I love some of the unique action scenes. Like, there's a sequence where Cole goes to a nightclub because he's looking for Tom, who's played Tom Ryder, who's a famous actor, he's the stuntman for, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who, my God, Aaron Taylor Johnson's so fucking funny in this. I love how much of just an asshole celebrity he pulls off being in this movie. He really pulls it off in this. Gail, who's spoiler alert, is one of the villains of the film, and I thought she was great along with Tom Ryder. But there's a sequence where they go to a nightclub, and Colt gets in a fight there, and it's a very unique, because he's on a drug, so you have like this really unique, like, just special effects kind of look. Like, he's like, almost because he's in all white, so it's like he's glowing, it's these weird effects, he's on drugs. And he sees like a unicorn. Ryan Gosling is funny as fuck in this movie. Like, I think this is one of his funniest fucking movies. Like, I think he really nailed it, and just the stunt work just was nice to watch. And just watch real sets and not be in some like shitty volume and very simple plot. And it sucks that I see it's not doing the greatest right now. Hopefully maybe word of mouth will be stronger, because I think people will like it. I think most word of mouth I hear is really good, unless you like the series, because that's where I have seen some of the criticism, is the fact that it's, because I think some people were expecting it to be more like the series, which I will check out now that I know it was a series, so I might check it out at some point. Because I really very much love this film. I love films like that are like a love letter just to films. Last Action Hero, I would say Scream in sense for horror movies, or Last Action Hero for action films. I love films like that. They're just like a love letter to just, that stuff. And I think that's what this is. I love the action sequence in the end. The way they have to get Tom Ryder to do the confession, because the phone that they usually have to get ends up getting damaged. And there's a scene where Cole fakes his death, and it's a funny, just all around very much great film. And unfortunately, current Hollywood that I think some people are just like, you know what, I'll just wait for it on to go streaming. But I would say it was worth seeing in the theater. Just come, sorry, it's fizzing out. Um, there was like a sequence where they go to split screen, and it's like that was awesome to see in the theater, and I just kind of, you know, want this to do better because I want more movies like this. I don't know if I would want a sequel. I think this could kind of work as a one off, to be honest. Little love letter action films in stunt work. Boom. You know, but I really did enjoy it. And yeah, I love the sequence where he like gets back on the helicopter because he has to grab the file, the video, and he ends up like flipping off the fucking um Gail and Tom before after he grabs it and jumps off. It's a great funny sequence. Like it's a legit funny movie. So I definitely want more movies like this. It's weird because it has a nice, and I think one of the biggest things I love about it is its heart. It has very much a lot of heart, and that's kind of what I think you'll get me as a viewer if your film has heart. You know, if your film has heart, you're gonna get me. You know, even to an extent, if it's not the greatest movie in the world, it still has heart. You're gonna always get me, and I think that's what this had. A lot of it, by the way. So, anyways, tomorrow gonna be reviewing Abigail. I'm actually gonna probably watch it after we do this. After I do this video, and then we're gonna watch it in the morning. I mean, then I'll review it in the morning or sometime early or in the evening tomorrow, one of the two. And then Monday, I'll be doing Blue Velvet, which is a movie Steve recommended me. Tuesday, I'm going to do The Covenant. Wednesday, I'm doing Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan. Thursday, I'm thinking I'm going to find some, like, maybe some random 80s slasher. I'll just look up some 80s slasher I've never seen, and we'll review it on Thursday. And then Friday, the plan is I'm going to go see if I don't have to work or anything, is I'm going to see the new Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So I'll be doing a review of that Friday. That if I see it. If something else happens where I can't see it Friday, then I'll announce it. But I'm going to try to get it because I do want to see it. I really do. I've been kind of meaning this probably for a while. Like my most anticipated movie this year. I'm really hoping it's good. I hope they nail it. Because at least lately, there's been some pretty good movies. You know, Ministry of Ungentle Warfare, this movie, Abigail. Like, there's been some decent stuff within the last few weeks. So, for like, oh, Boy Kills World. So it's nice to like, you know what? I would hope Planet of the Apes kind of continues that streak. So we'll see. So, anyways, before anything else, let's get into Fall Guy. So we see like kind of almost like a compilation in a way of kind of Colt's work as a stuntman in other movies, and I love it. It's very well done. You see his relationship with Jodie and being a stunt double for Tom Ryder. Like this movie gets going pretty quick. If I had one criticism, I guess before I get too into it, I think they could have trimmed down. I don't think it needed to be 2 hours. I think you could have trimmed it down to an hour and a half, hour and 40 maybe. I think that'd been the only thing. Like, I felt like, I don't know, and I get it. It's a love letter, but I don't think it needed to be 2 hours. I'm not one who usually cares if a movie's long, but I just feel like if your movie is especially for a movie like this, I think you should have maybe trimmed down at least 20 minutes, even 20 minutes you could have trimmed down, I think. But so he ends up suffering an accident, um, and ends up injuring his back, which ends up affecting his girlfriend with Jody. He ends up fucking up with her, and he kind of has to live with it. And he's trying to get her back, so he's no longer a stuntman. His hair's all grown, and he works at a restaurant. Gail Meyer, who's a producer, contacts him to be a stuntman because Tom Ryder's missing, to come back and do the movie Metal Storm, I think is what the movie is called, and they want to join the project. And he initially turns it down until she basically lies to him. It makes it seem like Jody wants you to come and do it, and it turns out she actually doesn't. And it turns out she's still pretty angry. But I do love, like, already you just feel their chemistry and the way that she would talk to him about, like, the movie, like, about the character, and I love the little scenes where they do the stunts. It's just like, so the first bit is pretty good. Like the whole movie's good, but I mean, like, it's very much you're just kind of getting to know these characters. And obviously, you find out he fucked up. He listens to a certain song. By the way, soundtrack is fucking great. Like, you have Thunderstruck. They play, I believe, a thing called Love by The Darkness. Great song. Yeah, there's some shitty rap in there, but it's a modern movie. They're going to have that. But at least largely, I would still say the soundtrack's pretty good. And in the one song he listened to, it brought him back to, like, when he was out with her. And it reminded him, and he started crying. And he pulled it off. It was, like, you want him to get back with her. And I'm not some guy who's into romance like that. But I think that's one of this thing I think this movie has, too. It's something for everyone. You have the action. You have the romance and stuff like that. And the comedy. I would also say I'll throw in the comedy, too, but I also feel like it's not the over comedy where it takes you out of the movie. It's done in a way where it's actually pretty funny. And I mean, just even some of the things, I'm guessing I'm jump ahead, but when Gail is talking to Jody and she mentions, like, rah 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 girl power and toxic masculinity, it's just it's like calling out Hollywood's, like, you're just using this just to mold, because it kind of even calls out how they mold directors. You're moldable. Which kind of reality, a lot of Hollywood, especially Disney, does. Like, they get these directors they could just kind of easily control, and that's what she was trying to do with her. And they just use this activism in the guise of activism. Like, it is crazy for a movie to kind of call that out in today's climate, but in a way where it's not straight up preaching or straight up doing that. And then, yeah, he goes to a nightclub, and this is where we have that crazy fight. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie. That whole sequence was just awesome. Like, the way, because he was on a trip, so they had to make it seem like you're on a trip with him, but while he's fighting, so they put obviously a little bit of the cinematography is great, and the fight choreography is awesome. So that's why it works. You have an actual stunt man do, and that's why, you know what. Maybe we gotta have more directors have people do stuntman work before they become a director or something, because at least if you're gonna do an action movie, because it just seems like you're just pulling off better product. When I see better choreography in this than, like, whatever latest Marvel thing, I'm not gonna count Deadpool 3, not counting that, like, but in, like, just your regular MCU film, it's not even close. It's like, you know what? These guys, just John Wick is, like, probably the biggest example, but just the choreography in this is just so well done. It's just fun to watch. Just sit back and just watch the stunt work. And obviously throughout the film, Cole starts rekindling his relationship with Jody, and so they're looking for a phone of Tom's, which reveals, I'll just spoil, that Tom actually ended up killing the stuntman, because this is where the scene earlier, Colt finds the stuntman dead in the bathroom, and it turns out and they end up destroying the phone. They end up getting captured, and this is where Tom is basically the plan's revealed, and it turns out Gail was in on the murder, and because of the if you because the reason the movie's called The Fall Guy is because they're gonna use him as a they're gonna frame Colt for the murder with like some deep fake video, and Tom Colt manages to escape. We get a cool chase on a boat while he's trying to like I think he leaves like a message to um to Jody and basically fakes his death. Makes it seem like um, he, died. He then goes to Jody, tells because he goes under disguise as like one of the aliens on set for the movie. He tells her what happened, and he hides her. You get a kind of funny gag where he hides her from Gail. Um, and they trick Tom into basically confessing everything because they kidnap him, and basically they take him on this. Basically, in the guise of filming the movie, and they're driving while Tom's in the car. And it's uh, Colt, and they're basically secretly recording Tom confessing everything. Um, and we get a pretty fun stunt sequence. And the bad guys that are chasing Tom basically get blown up because they're on the stunt set. And then all the stuntmen attack. Basically, they take off the rest of Tom's goons, basically, while Tom and Gail try to escape. We get the scene I was talking about where Gail tries to tries to get the camera footage, and she tries to convince Jody to come with her. Rah rah girl power. It's pretty funny, like that fact that like they would actually like do the line like, especially considering in a movie like, and it's from the villain too, and it's obviously like you wouldn't think a movie would even do something like that today. So this is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. I'm definitely gonna go see this again, or want to watch it again at least, because this was really good. I very much had fun with it. They managed to. This is the scene I was talking about where they're in the helicopter. We have Tom manages to get the audio, and we get a scene of him flipping them both off while jumping off and doing his kind of last stunt. And then Metal Storm premieres the Comic-Con. We see it's Jason Momoa doing the parts. We have a Jason Momoa cameo. Becomes a blockbuster. Colt is good. And then, him and Colt and Jody get together again. Yeah. Very simple, straightforward movie. Not much more to tell besides that. But I very much enjoyed it. And I want more movies like this. And you know what? The stunt work was just fucking fun to watch as an action movie fan. Like, this really wasn't love letter. Like, they put all their work into it, and just the love letter to Hollywood in a way too, like, or action Hollywood specifically, maybe I'll say, but and awesome characters. Ryan Gosling is great, and I'm happy he's doing more movies like this. I'm really hoping he does not do any more shit like Barbie. I get people liked him as Ken. I didn't care. I fucking hated that movie. I think personally he's better off doing shit like this. The Nice Guys, which unfortunately didn't get a sequel. But, and actually, you know what? Maybe next week, maybe on Thursday. I know I said I was going to do a slasher on Thursday, but you know what? Just because I just did this, and I've been kind of talking about it, maybe on Thursday we'll do The Nice Guys. I haven't watched in a while anyway, so we'll do that on Thursday. That's a really good movie. But anyway, I really enjoyed this one. Like, Ryan Gosling, you could tell, just had fun with this. Same with Emily Blunt. I thought she had very much had fun. I liked her character. And I actually thought she was pretty funny. She had some pretty funny one. And I don't know if that's her actually singing, but there's a scene I kind of skipped over it, but there's a scene like she's at a bar and she's actually singing. It's actually really well done. Like it's pretty good if that's actually her singing. Like yeah, so out of 10, I'd give this an 8.5. I very much recommend it. Um, Definitely one of the better films of the year. I'm kind of hoping we get this good film streak kind of continues because I'll admit we started out pretty rough this year. So at least lately, I've been seeing some decent stuff come out as of late. So anyways, guys, tomorrow gonna be reviewing Abigail. I'm gonna see how I feel about it a second time. I definitely really enjoyed it the first time, but I want to get his second thoughts before I straight up want to review it. So I'll be reviewing that tomorrow at some point. I'll maybe do it during the day. We'll see. If not, I'll do it in the evening. But other than that, talk to y'all later. All right, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.